And good evening, and welcome to the Chevy Hour Nova Show. Or Chevy Nova 73, 74 Nova Show. There we go. It's been a little while since we've been online, so that's my excuse for not remembering the name. That's terrible. Forgive me for that. So just starting up things here. It's 7:30 in a wonderful, soon-to-be winter Winnipeg, as we're expecting the blizzard of a century, or blizzard of the decade, or whatever. The storm front's moving in from the Colorado low, as we call them. And we're expecting anywhere from 30 centimeters to 50 centimeters of snow over the next 3 days. You know what that means? It means they'll have time to work on the cars and get them done before spring comes. So we're just going to take a few moments here and wait for a few people to show up. Of course, the chat's going, so... oh, no, it's on this side of the screen. The chat's going, so make sure you get involved there. We're just going to wait a few minutes here and let's see if more people join us. And then I'm going to babble. So I see... oh, do we get a comment? Let's see here. I got to refresh here my pop-up. Once again, Facebook has changed the layout of the live producer, which really sucks. So now I gotta get used to it all over again. And hey, Lou is first here. Hey, Lou, 66 Fahrenheit in Ohio. What is it in here? Alexa, what is the temperature in Winnipeg in Fahrenheit?
Right now, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, it's -1 degree Celsius. Tonight, expect a low of -1 degree.
-1 will be 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's actually not bad. And hey, Dan, how you doing? There's our fellow Nova brother from Alaska. He's used to this cold weather, so he's kind of laughing at me when I talk about how cold it is here, because whatever we get here, he's getting twice as bad up there in Alaska. So thank you both, you gentlemen, for joining in tonight. And not too sure what we're going to talk about. We just kind of go with the things, or if you guys want to babble on the cars. As you can see, don't quite have it all done yet, but at the same time, we're not far off. Really, the Omega's done. I just got to put the hood back on and then line it up. It's ready to go. But the Nova, as you can see, well, we got the motor all fixed up. So that's got to go back in the car. That'll probably happen this weekend. But before we do that, I'm currently in the midst of replacing the steering box for yet another time. Got the transmission over there. I had to switch the tail end housings to accommodate my drive shaft loop. If you're like me and you don't want to drill holes in your floor, but you want a drive shaft loop, here's the puppy for you. So we'll get into all that and more shortly as more people join. Of course, I always want to take a moment here to start things off and acknowledge a few people. I'd like to acknowledge the admin staff and moderators of Chevy Nova 7374. There's William Hamlet, our founder, myself, David Meyer, Craig Iben, Rex Koflak, Kim Nova Girl Whiteacre, and Dave Williams are the people who look after this forum. And I must say, Craig and Dave do a super job screening our new members that come in. If you've joined recently, you know how tough it is to get into our group. You got to answer the questions, agree to the rules, especially the rule about profanity, no swearing, as we are trying to keep this group like a family environment, because we do have a younger audience in our group. And of course, Chevy Nova 7374 is locked down to owners and people who work on 7374 Novas. We are not currently open to enthusiasts right now, but if you were in before the lockdown came, of course, you are grandfathered. But we are a resource for the 73, 74 Chevrolet Nova production year vehicles. So, of course, just want to thank our staff for doing a beautiful job. Kim, of course, keeps me on my toes, and William for starting everything. All right, so we got that out of the way. And of course, you guys all know the rules of the base. Be kind to one another. No bashing. Be respectful. Keep the conversation 73, 74. I know that's been a bit of a hot topic lately amongst us admins, because we have some users who are posting memes, which are car-oriented, But we're trying to keep the context strictly on 73, 74 Novas, and some of it's being removed. It's not because the post isn't funny or that, it's just not falling in with what we want in this group. So please don't be offended by it. Don't take it personal. There's other groups out there that you can post in. I know of another 73, 74 Novas group that we do allow some of the car memes in, as long as it's car oriented. So there's a shameless plug for the other group. And of course our sister group, 73, 74 X-Body, the Nova, Omega, Ventura, Apollo Club. That's our sister group, which we've kind of distanced a little from, but is still part of the, X-Body family. And I'm still pretty active on that because, well, I got to find somewhere to post about my Omega adventures. So where are we here? Dan here, 40 above t-shirt weather. Yeah, it was t-shirt weather here earlier today, Dan, but that wind that's coming with that Colorado low is cold and the temperature's dropping fast here. So as you can see, I've got my hoodie on. And a shameless plug here for Mow Down Racing Engines. That is my buddy and best friend, Dan Clem. He's the one who's built the motors in my cars. This one in the Omega has been running 11 years. That one in the Nova was running almost a year because I didn't do much driving last year, so can't really say it's too broken in yet. It's only got 1,500 miles in it, but we think we got the oil pan gasket all fixed and figured out, but we'll soon find out, won't we? So yeah, shameless plug for Mow Down Racing Engines. What else? What else we got going on here, folks? What's going on with you? What's going on with your Nova projects? I know I'm going to probably spoil it here, but I don't lose building a 383. He's thinking of doing a 700 R4. So if there's people out there who are running a 700 R4 transmission in your 73, 74 Nova, send Lou a little chat with measurements of your drive shaft, because we were talking about having to cut the drive shaft down to accommodate the different size transmission. Well, right now it shows that we only have three viewers. Yay! So we'll wait a few minutes for a few more people. Seeing how, Dan, you're here, and it's nice of you to join us. Anything going on with your Novas? Or I know you have a whole fleet of them, so I guess you're always just slowly building and putting them together. Do you guys have much of a car scene up in Alaska? Like, I don't know how long your car season is. Like, typically in Winnipeg here, our car season starts usually, mid-April and runs to about mid-October. That's generally our car season. Really, it's nice out and the roads are nice between May and September. So we have a pretty short season here. So just kind of curious there. Jeff, how you doing, sir? Rubbing it in at 52 degrees there in eastern PA. Keep up the good work of the group. Love seeing everyone's Novas and like the live show when I get a chance to see it. Thank you, Jeff. I got to admit, I'm always nervous doing this because sometimes I don't know what to talk about. I don't want it to always be geared on my stuff. I like it's great when the chat participates. And yeah, this Chevy Nova 7374, I've said it a few times now, and I'll say it again. This group and you people are the only reason I am still on Facebook. Let's be honest, Facebook's gone downhill. It's full of advertisements, blah, 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 and just, stuff you don't really want to see. Scams, ads, just, whatever. Drama. The only reason I'm still on Facebook, folks, is for this group, for you people, because I love my Chevy Nova. And Dan says he's just up in Alaska waiting for the snow to melt and the flooding to stop. Yeah, flooding's never fun. We've been really lucky in Winnipeg here that the last 3-4 weeks have been a really slow melt, and we've avoided any flooding. But now with the storm moving in the next couple of days, it's going to be a pretty touch and go around here. So, and I see Kim has joined us. Kim, the other admin, how you doing? What's up, Nova girl? Not much, Kim. I'm just starting things out here, and of course, reading the chat and doing our thank yous. And of course, Kim, thank you for everything you do for this group. We wouldn't function without you. Not as efficiently, we wouldn't. Kim the other day reminded me and brought to my attention of a profile that was tagged that was tagged as a scam or a rip-off link. So we quickly jumped on that and removed that. So I'd like to thank Kim for that. And Kim as well, I'm going to do a plug for her. She's also got a sister group to our group here, the 7374 Nova Hatchback Club. For the hatchback people, if you don't want to associate with us trunk people, you have your own group. So definitely give Kim's group a look up. Most of our family here is over there as well. It's just another group and another reason to post more pictures of your car. So why not join? Yeah, I see you got a couple more viewers going on. And yeah, so I don't know. You guys want me to talk about what's going on behind, or has anybody got any questions or anything I can try and help you with? Let's see what's going on with you folks today. Right now, okay. Yeah, Kim says all are welcome to join. It's not just for hatchbacks. Some of us trunk people have snuck in. And Kim also has, I don't know if she writes it down or just has that great of a memory, has a good memory. If you need Nova parts, that's the lady to talk to, because she'll know where to find them. So it's like she keeps a record of them. Les, how you doing, sir? Les is currently building a 74 Nova in memory of his son, Logan. And he's currently in the rewiring stages of it. Dan is just listing off his inventory here of some trunks, some hatchbacks, 2 doors, 4 doors. He's got them all. Kim, no, it's not snowing yet, but there is a very strong weather warning advisory for most of southern Manitoba. That's the province I live in, and including the city of Winnipeg. We're expecting anywhere from 30 to 50 centimeters of snow, so 30 centimeters, that's a couple feet. Alexa, how many centimeters in a foot?
1 foot is about 30.5 centimeters.
So there you go. We're expecting anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snow over the next couple days. And it could be worse. The forecast changes, like 10 minutes. So depending what you want to read. And, oh, you know what? Speaking of, I guess you guys can't see it. I have it mounted over there on the roof. I have one of the Alexa units. And if you're someone who works alone in your garage, or you live alone and working in your garage, this might be the device you should have hooked up and working. Like right now, I just have mine here. I'll just show you over here. Watch the camera there. Right there. Right by my, there we go. Right there. That's the unit right there. And the reason I put that there is when I was working on the car on the Omega back in December, I had an incident where I kind of got my hand jammed and twisted in a funny area with the front suspension. And of course my cell phone is, right here over at the toolbox, and I'm stuck. Now, who's going to find me? I live alone. Nobody knows that I'm working. It's, late night or something. With that device, and it's hooked up to wireless, you could actually make phone calls on it. So that you could say the magic A word, call, and you just read out the phone number, and you could call for help. So that may not be that bad of a device to have. Maybe something to think about putting in your garage, because if you got hurt, or if something happened and I got pinned, and I don't have my cell phone, how am I going to call for help? Especially in wintertime, everything's boarded up, everybody's houses are all, closed up, nobody's out walking in that. Where the summertime, I could yell, I may have the door open or whatnot. But think of getting one of those Google Home or Alexa devices to put in your garage, so in case you have to make an emergency call. Cancel.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Cancel. Think about getting one of those. Okay, next thing I was talking about. Oh yeah, one of the things I had to do to the Nova while the motor's out is, I talked about this last year, is I got a drive shaft loop. I forget where I got this from. But what happens is it bolts on the trans mount, and it comes, out and protects your drive shaft. There you go, right? You don't have to drill any holes in your floor for one of those, generic amounts of that. So I'm looking forward to installing this, but I didn't install it last year because I ran into a small problem with the transmission in my Nova. The transmission I had in there, I guess the case was a BOP dual bolt bell housing, so it was good for both Chevy and Buick Olds Pontiac. But on those particular Turbo 350s, like a Turbo 400, it has the Speedo bullet, but look at the size of that Speedo bullet housing. So what happens when I go to bolt it, the drive shaft loop on, it was getting in the way because it bolts up or something like this, and I'd have to bend this around, or so the big Speedo bullet housing was causing a problem. Now these ones take the again, this is the same one, I believe, 700R4s, Turbo 400s, and BOP Turbo 350s. And these ones have the bigger, as you can see, the Speedo head there. And these ones actually have two different Speedo heads, which I didn't know. They come in different sizes because they're offset depending on the size of the driven gear for the Speedo. So there's two different offset sizes, which I didn't know when I ruined the one that's got the tie wrap here. So what I had to do is I had a small block Chevy Turbo 350 kicking around, which of course has the smaller housing here, and we're not gonna have any clearancing issues. So I'm really looking forward to installing this drive shaft loop, especially with that new motor and the extra power, because the last thing I want to do is floorboards. Yeah, what else am I working on? Of course, if anybody has anything to pipe up or want to talk about your Novas, of course, pipe in, please. Oh, I got to refresh here. 1 sec, I'm missing some chats here. Jason Nolan, how you doing, sir? I believe he's from Eastern Canada. And typically, Jason, you get these big 30 to 60 centimeter storms in the springtime. But this year it's moved a little west and it's dumping in Manitoba. But yes, welcome, Jason. Jason has a 76 Nova, I believe. It's a disco era one, but takes some beautiful pictures out in Eastern Canada. So welcome. I think I've got everybody. We not too many people here right now. We only got 7 viewers. What else can I talk about? So yeah, again, going back to the transmissions, totally different sets of gears being used by BOP Turbo 400s and Turbo 350s. Big size difference. And the Speedo bullets, a fraction of the size. It's always good to keep parts. Back in the day when these transmissions were plentiful in the junkyard, I used to go and what I would do is I would take off the tail house, and I would take the gears. And sometimes if I could get the little clips as well that hold the gears, the place for the drive gear that goes on the output shaft, I would also collect those. So I have a little bit of collection, but unfortunately most of my collection is of the BOP style, the Turbo 400 style. So we need to collect this. I was looking online and man, those gears ain't cheap. Oh, 75 Noah. Thank you, Jason. Well, that was close. Right on. So what else is happening? I don't know if I posted it. I believe I posted how my gasket failed on the engine of the Nova using the stroker pan. And like I said, we got that all fixed. That's all getting ready to put back together. And I might even stream that. I know I promised to stream you guys. I know I promised to stream when we were pulling the motor out. But I had my dad helping me, and my dad hates the camera. So we never did stream pulling it out, but depending if I have him helping me or not putting it in, maybe we'll stream that. It came out so easy. We had that motor out in like 10 minutes just with the transmission. It's actually scary how easy that came out. And then yeah, the manual steering box. Picked this up from Rock Auto. I just got the stock replacement from Lars. just manual steering. And it's nice that they mark it as centered when you order it, where the last one I put in the car, I guess I didn't center it because my steering wheel was off a little bit. So this will probably be going in, probably tomorrow. And then, of course, I bought a coupler to go with it. Hopefully that coupler works. I know there's 2 different sized couplers. I remember we had a thread on that on our group, so I'm going to have to go back in and look. And, Kim's posting here. She's looking for a serpentine conversion kit. Not having much luck. The one I have, Kim, is by Billet Specialists. It's all kind of on the floor in the front seat there. What it does is it just basically replaces your standard small block Chevy pulleys, your V-groove pulleys with the serpentine pulleys. So you're still using, the same kind of belt, but instead of a V belt, it's a serpentine belt. Yeah, it was a little pricey. I think I posted the part numbers, but if you need them, let me know and I can get them for you. But that serpentine belt, when I put that on the Nova, not only did that fix my alignment problems and that, but no more squealing, fan belt not howling at 2 a.m. in the morning. And I actually kind of thought of putting one on the Omega, but then I remembered that serpentine kit is more than I even paid for this car. But I did get it at Summit, so if you need the part numbers, Kim, I can provide that for you. I know some people say you can get them out of trucks and that, and I think some of the ones on trucks, they come in, a big like bracket like serpentine setup. But you got to be careful with some of those with how that big belt runs, because in the belt, the way it comes around the top and around, you actually have to use a reverse flow water pump. Not many people are aware of that, so you got to be careful if you're trying to piece something together out of a truck from the junkyard. Okay, let me, Kim, you know what? Let me write a note here as soon as I find a notepad. And let's see what I can find for you. Okay, a kit with power steering. Is it factory AC? Okay, power steering AC. Would help if I had a pen that worked. Power steering, AC, serpentine. Okay. I'll try and find it for you, Kim, because I do have the catalog that came with my belt kit when I bought it. Les here. Okay, Les has a part number here we can look up. The F2122 PC. Long water pump serpentine conversion kit for small block Chevy. So let me just go to my PC, which is, of course, right in front of me here. And I'm going to go to good old trusty Summit Racing. Summit Racing, if there's any Canadians here ordering parts, you cannot beat the customer service of Summit Racing. And I'm going to do a shameless plug here, because when I ordered my disc brake kit for my Nova, it came with the wrong calipers. It came with calipers for a Chevelle, which I didn't know at the time would also work on the Nova, but I wanted the Nova ones because that's why I ordered the X body. And they sent me the new ones, and for the old ones, I'm like, well, do you want me to ship them back or what? And they said, no, don't bother, just use them as cores. So I got two spare calipers that it turns out you can use with Nova, so if I ever need one in case of emergency, I'll have a set. There's been other times where I've ordered stuff like my motor, my intake bolts didn't arrive, my ARP intake bolts. Boom, we're here in a week. They sent me, no problem. We're sorry for the inconvenience. I mean, they're so good to us Canadians. Okay, I'm looking at this kit here, and it's a middle mount alternator kit by Billet Specialists. Oh, wow. $700 Canadian. That's a very nice kit, and yeah, it comes with the pump. It's all, and a polish too. That's a really nice kit there, Les. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, Billet Specialists or Specialties is the company I use too. So Kim, like I said, I'll look that up in the catalog for you. And yeah, Les, that's quite the kit. A little bit of bling bling there. I think my kit was close to 400, but I didn't have the power steering in my mind. It was just the water pump, crank, and alternator. And my alternator is still up in the stock position. I didn't get the middle mount. Yeah, that's nice. All right. And just looking in the Nova group there, it looks like a nice 74 Nova has been posted by somebody that's for sale. Ooh, that's not bad. Waiting for that to load. Anyone close to Ohio? Daniel Birch has shared a marketplace post of a 74 Nova coupe for, it's down to 3,800. It was at 4,200 when it was posted earlier today. Not a bad price. Body looks decent. It's got a little bit of fender rust. And the interior could use a little work, and it looks like it has aftermarket air in it. That's not too bad. Check that out. And of course, folks, please keep those pictures of Novas coming, because I'm always looking for pictures to change the cover picture. I'm down to changing it about once a week now, and that's more just because I've been so busy. I just haven't been able to switch it every couple days. But the pictures slowed down a bit, so I don't quite have the inventory of pictures I once had where I was changing it so much. So please, of course, keep those pictures coming. I don't even care if you got a blue Nova. You can send those too. I'll post those as well. And then somebody's talking about a 5-speed Trimatic, installing that, and they're going to see if a 700R is more feasible. And we've got a few new people who, somebody's asking about radiators. What's a good 4-core? Oh, there's a picture of me. And then Jay Hatfield posted, went for a drive in North Carolina with his red Nova. Wow, that is beautiful. Nice 73 SS. And of course, Rob Finch. Oh, I hope I'm slaughtering that, Rob. I'm sorry if you're watching this. He was posting of some Gort headlights. They're available on Amazon. So, yeah, got those tagged. And, my buddy Mike Wilson. Hey, Mike. He's a fellow Winnipegger and a good buddy of mine. We've traded some Nova parts. And his Nova's coming along nice. It's almost done. Right on. Looking forward to seeing that on the road. Yeah, it's a Nova, right? Not an Omega? Yeah, I think I'm getting you mixed up with Mr. Lore and his, he's got the Omega, you've got the Nova. Right. Yeah, same here, Mike. Almost. Yeah, no, not almost, not yet. But the Omega's almost done. And Jason says, my 75 Nova on group. And yeah, I think you're still in our group, obviously, because you're watching our stream. I know we're very strict on not posting other eras of Novas there, Jason, so I do apologize for that, but we do have to keep that to 73, 74, because if we allow one person to post, then everybody's going to want to post their other Novas and that. Unless you can get a picture of it parked beside a 73, 74, then we can make an exception. It's always exception to the rules. Mike, how you doing, buddy? Are you ready for the end of the world snowstorm that's going to wipe Winnipeg off the map? I know there's been a lot of teasing on Facebook amongst my friends that this storm with 30 to 50 centimeters of snow with 2 to 3 feet of snow, how it's going to end civilization as we know it. I mean, everything is shutting down in our city. Man, we're used to this crap. There's nothing to panic about. I mean, go to Safeway, pick up a little extra milk. I picked up a couple extra frozen pizzas and that just to make sure I have food for the next 2-3 days. I'll be fine. Okay, now let's stop with the fat jokes there. I know what you're saying. That camera, I swear, adds 20 to 30 pounds. And quite frankly, if the snowstorm lasts 2 or 3 days, I really could go without a couple meals because I need to shed some weight before race season. That way I can instead of lighting up the cars. Right now I lightened up the front of the Omega, the bumper. I cut gutted it out, but I figured the weight I took out of the Omega is the weight I've put on, so I'm no further ahead. Patrick, how you doing, sir? How's your wheel selection coming for your beautiful black 74 Nova with the blue headlights? That is still one of my favorite Novas out there, Patrick. Love it. Love it. And Mike says he's just going to sit back and relax during the storm and the end of the world and spend some time on the Nova. Right on. And he just had that recently painted a beautiful silver. So Team Silver, if you're looking to recruit members for your team, there you go. And yeah, Jason, yeah, that's how you could get around that, get some pictures of your Nova there on our group. It's just make sure it's by a 73, 74 Nova. And of course, Patrick, imagine that, frozen pizza. Yeah, I've gone to frozen pizza because it's cheap. And, well, Domino's rose their delivery charge to $5.49 to deliver. And I'm cheap because I need money for cars, right? So, yeah, I ain't paying that. And hey, Carson Brown, how you doing, sir? Welcome and thanks for joining us. I thought the Omega was black. Yeah, it was. Here, one sec here. Let me just turn the camera a little. There you go. It's still black. Over the winter time, on one of the Omega sites, me and a fellow member, Craig Antonio from Regina, Saskatchewan, bought a 74 Olds S, Omega S car. And actually these stripes come on the S model, so I may stripe the whole car because I think that looks cool. But found it with a beautiful front clip with beautiful fenders and doors. I'm actually going to change out the doors too. The passenger door is good. I don't think I need to change that, but the driver's door, it's got some cancer, got some issues, so I'm going to change that. But once it warms up enough and I can get the cars outside, yeah, we'll be having a party. Ooh. Oh, I thought maybe the camera was going to fall there. Oh, forgive me, folks, while that wiggles a little. Oh, let's get some more of the Nova because this is a Nova stream, right? All right, there we are. Well, Patrick, if you can't make up your mind on the wheels, there's a very simple solution. You post all your selections up, and we put it to a vote on the forum, and maybe we can help you vote as well. I personally like the dog dish hubcaps on the steel rim. Or, of course, I could say I've kind of grown accustomed to Keystones, too. But honestly, dude, your Nova used to look sick with those slot mags you used to have on it. So slots are Krager's. You can't go wrong with those. But yeah, post some pictures, and we'll see what we can find. And Jason's asking what year. I'm assuming you're asking the Omega. The Omega is a 1974. Originally, I bought this car in 2005 because I wanted the doors for my Nova, because the passenger door on my Nova has a lot of cancer on the bottom and there's some on the driver's door. And this passenger door is pretty minty. The driver's door, it needed a little work to pass safety, but we fixed it. Duct tape. And I was going to use this car for parts, and then, there's not many Omegas on the road, and we started going through it, and before you know it, now I got 2 project cars, and neither one of them will ever be done. Lou, since you had the 421, that's the seat tells you about horsepower. I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that, Lou. I might have missed something here. I didn't actually get a chance to drive the Nova much with that motor last year. As many of you guys know, there was an assassination attempt on the leadership of Team Green by Team Blue, and my Achilles ruptured. And it was on my right foot, which meant my foot was in a cast for June, July, and all the month of August. I didn't start driving till the last week of August. So the Nova was out for 4 weeks in September and 2 weeks in October. I only got about 1,500 miles on that motor. I had a real problem with oil leaks and trying to fix between the intake gasket at the back, what I thought was a rear main problem, the dipstick, which on these stroker pans, these dipsticks are right here, and it had a pressure fitting, and that was leaking, and then I thought the plug was leaking by the oil filter. I mean, the bottom of the Nova is not going to rust for 2 or 3 lifetimes now. It is so coated in oil. Even my nice chrome Magnaflow mufflers are black, so I got to get in there and clean that up. But the one time, just before I brought it home, I launched it at a set of lights, and I had the drag radios on, and wow, did that throw me back in the seat. It actually kind of scared me a little, more because I was in the next lane when I didn't try to be. So once I got the car straightened out, boom, gave her, and then I do have a roller cam set up in there, and wow, does that rev up fast. If you could afford the extra, well, in Canadian terms, $700-800 and get a roller cam kit, do it. Wow. And also, you don't have to do a cam braking. Oh, does the seat tell you what those were? Sorta, Lou. And yeah, the other one was still a 406. I would say so, because like I said, when I launched that car and it just kind of got up and boom, I'm in the next lane. I'm like, whoa, and good thing there was no cars beside me. It scared me. It was almost like when I first put the other 406 in 8 years ago. So it's going to be scary. But like anything, you get used to it, and you just got to drive responsibly. Yeah, I really hadn't beaten on it much because I just wanted to break it in nice, and I never got out to the racetrack or anything with it, and I don't think I'm going to this year either, because I still have the stock 8.5 rear end with the stock axles in it, and at the moment I can't afford to replace that rear end, so we're just going to be good to it for now. And depending how my second job works out, if I get some more hours, I'll save up and I may do a rear end next year. I'm looking at between a Mosier 12 bolt and a Strange 12 bolt rear end, and I'm gonna try and buy the whole thing so it's just a complete bolt-in. Jason is asking, what carb? On the Omega here, I'm running a Holley 650 double pumper. And this is what I used to run on the Nova as well, on the old 406. And it was straight out of the box, not playing with the jets or anything like that. This car runs a 13.3, 13.4, shifting in at about 55, 5200. If you leave it in drive, which my dad does when he races it at the track, it shifts at 42, 46, it'll run a 14.1. So that one's just a plain Holley, and it's been rejetted. The power valve, oh boy, is that dusty. The power valve changed. 6.5 jetted 6571. MSD Pro Billet distributor, and I'm running an electric fuel pump in it now, the Holley Blue Pump. And I think I'm only running 5 or 5.5 pounds of fuel pressure. In the Nova, we converted that 5 years ago. I went from the Holley 650, I tried a Holley 750, which only gave me an extra, 10 horsepower, 7 pounds of torque on the dyno, because we tried it. But what I did is we went to the Holley Sniper EFI setup with the Holley dual sync distributor, and wow, if you can afford fuel injection, go for it. I ended up getting sponsored the Master Kit. I bought the distributor to go with it, because if you use the Holley dual sync distributor, the Holley Sniper will control timing as well. And it's not that it gave me a lot more power or anything, but what it did is it optimized what I had. And my fuel mileage doubled. I get, on the old 406, I was getting almost 11 miles per gallon. On this 421 here, when I quickly calculated it, it was 10.48, but I'm going to do more calculations this year as I play with the tune, and it learns and self-tunes. But the Holley Sniper, the Master Kit, comes with everything you need. The fuel line to run from the back to the front. And the newer Sniper kits that come out today don't need the return line like the original ones, the generation ones did back 5 years ago. So I have a new supply line down the driver's side, which feeds the Sniper. Runs at about 58.5 pounds of pressure. And then from the Sniper, there's a return line, which is my stock line, goes back to the gas tank, where I have a bung welded in, and then a hose to let it flow back down to the bottom of the tank, so it doesn't get all foamed up from the turbulence. But that Holy Sniper was really nice. If I had an extra 2,500 sitting around, there'd probably be one on the Omega too. But in all honesty, I should probably put disc brakes on here before fuel injection. But it's a wish list, you know. With this car, that car, what do I want to spend the money on, right? And really, the Nova needs a rear end. But this car I like to keep going because my dad likes to race it out at our drag strip, and he's having a blast. And this year, he wants to make a run at the points championship again, like he did in 2018, and when he won. Last year we weren't able to run because, again, my injury, I couldn't drive, I couldn't get out there, and I couldn't even fix the car. So Dad didn't have a chance to run last year, so I want to make sure that this is Dad's year for racing. Pat, you need to call it JJ the boss. I'm going roller on the next build. That's kind of funny you mentioned that, Pat, because I sure do enjoy watching those Memphis Street Outlaws in their street cars. I love watching the Street Outlaws, but I think they got away from their roots as the seasons went on and cars got faster. And I mean, it's not really about street cars. Let's be honest. And of course, Doc has a new car, Heavy Metal, which is a '74 Nova hatchback. But of course, it's got the fiberglass front end on it of an earlier generation Nova. So you guys know how I feel about that. So to me, it needs fender extensions and a little bigger bumper for me to fall in love with it. Jason was saying that he has a 650 on his 75 Nova there. What size of motor, Jason, are you running? This here is a small block 350 board 30 over, so it's a 355 with Vortec heads. Originally, this was a 6-cylinder car, but we got rid of that, and my plan was to build a 350 Rocket for it, but the price to build an Oldsmobile motor was almost double that, if not a little more, than to build a small block Chevy, and I had a lot of small block Chevy parts left over from the Nova, so that's why the Oldsmobile has a Chevy motor in it. Yeah, Pat, I absolutely agree with you. Pretty much all those cars on Street Outlaws are pro mods. Although I did enjoy watching the Girls Gone, or Street Outlaws Gone Girls series, where the ladies were racing cars. And those were still more street cars. They weren't crazy, but they weren't all full out, pro mods, like JJ's collection of Chevy 2s. Jason's just commenting here. He's running a 350 with a cam in that. So yeah, 650. That's a decent carb. I think if you do the mathematical calculations on my 406 at the high end, it was they said you need a 644. I think was the measurement we ended up getting. But yeah, there's 750s. A lot of people will use those. A lot of people tend to overcarburate their cars, which is everybody believes more is better, but sometimes it's not. I've never tried a 750 on this car, so I can't tell you if it would run better or not, but I know it runs great with that 650 on there with the MSD Pro Billet distributor and the electric fuel pump. When I went from mechanical to electric fuel pump on the Omega, along with the Pro Billet distributor, I used to run one of those MSD Street Fire distributors, which you could get at the speed shop for like $100, $150. We ran that in the car for over 8 years till we were experiencing some problems. Narrowed it down to the distributor. When I pulled the distributor out, it actually says on the box, not for racing applications, do not take over 5,500. Well, that thing took 8 years of racing applications and over 5,500. And I was amazed it ran as well as it did. So I had the MSD Pro Billet distributor kicking around I bought for the Nova back when I upgraded the distributor and it was only 3 weeks old when I then went to fuel injection. So I had this $500 distributor kicking around, so we threw it in the Omega. That with the electric fuel pump really made this car a lot more consistent at the drag strip, and Dad did a pretty good with it at the end of was it 2019 is when we did that. And they got a couple races in last year in September after my foot was healed. And of course, you guys all saw the pictures of the heater core swap to the big block style. So the hoses are now with the fender instead of being squeezed by the valve cover. That I come in here and I look at that just to look at the hoses, how nice and out of the way they are compared to where they're shoved in behind the valve cover. I mean, that looks so clean, man. I came in here just to look at that, and I gotta do that conversion on the Nova. And depending how much snow we're getting, I may still have time to do that in a week or two as soon as I get it back together. I gotta get it back together first, though. Gotta stay focused. All right, what else do we got going on here? Not too much being said there in the chat. But yeah, the 421 stroker kit. That's what that one is. That's still the same block as my 406. For those who don't remember, I had a little problem with timing and melted a piston. That's from the 406. Oops. And Dan Clem, Modown Racing Engines, he was able to save the block. We were actually able to fix and save the old Pro Comp heads, but I was in a spending mood and I brought Brodex Track 1 series heads. And I'm actually really surprised these Brodex heads do not have provisions drilled in them for gauges or sensors. There's no drills for this. In fact, I had to order extra to get it drilled for a 400 small block for the steam holes. That was an extra almost $300. Again, Canadian funds. So what we ended up doing is I moved the sensor for my temperature gauge up by the intake, which is really close to the sensor for temperature, onto the intake here, which is really close to the upper rad hose. But for the fuel injection, I've got a bung. I can't turn that. I don't want to fall. I got a bung welded on the front of the intake. We drilled a hole, welded a bung there so I can run the temperature sensor for the EFI. And yeah, it works pretty good. No, it is a Chevy block still, Lou. It is 395 1509. Yeah, and it's also a high nickel block too. And I got another 400 block here, which is the 395 1511, and they're both, of course, 2-bolt mains. If you look up the code on what is it, Nasty Z28 for them, they say 2 or 4-bolt, but these are both 2-bolt mains. And yeah, it's just a standard 400 block, board 30 over, and then some extra clearancing is needed for the stroke, or the rotation of the crank for the longer stroke. So some block clearancing is needed, which Dan did, blueprinted it all. And that's why I also have that aftermarket stroker pan, because I have, as you saw in my pictures, there's actually reliefs in the side. There's a relief here, a relief here, here, and here, where the pan actually comes out a bit because of that longer stroke. Otherwise, if you had a regular oil pan, it would sound like you're playing the drums when you go to start the car. Yeah, I can't, I'll never have another motor like that. I can't afford to build another motor like that. That's kind of like my one chance, my one big bang. Knock on wood, or wherever wood is. And we're going to treat that one a lot nicer than we did the last 406, because if that goes, I'm done. We'll probably pull the 350 out of the Omega and put it in, because I'd rather drive the Nova than the Omega. But I do have another 406 here, which is a 406 I built back in 2003. It's pretty tame. It runs, the best I ran on that was a 1330. So if I put that in the Nova, then I'm also going to have to take off the license plates. What are you going to do about the oil pan for the leak? Oh, I guess I didn't post the updates yet, eh, guys? Oh, what we did is we ordered the Felpro gaskets. Actually, here, one sec. Let me, one sec. Okay, coming. Coming, I'll be right there. Okay, here we are. So what we ended up doing, because this aftermarket oil pan I have for the stroker, the Moroso 2195, again it has the reliefs for the stroker on the side. I'll have to check and post that picture. But on this pan it does not have the provision for the dipstick tube, because that would get hit by the crank with the big swing. So you can't use a stock dipstick tube, so this is actually closed off. Now, with doing that, we use that Felpro, like the blue gasket like this. We use the one-piece pan gasket. I forget what number it is. I can look it up. But what happened on that pan gasket is, I guess on the mold they use, the mold, there's a little fine rubber line, I guess, where there's a little bit of casting or rubber left over. And I think that was just enough between that and the oil dipstick provision that's where the oil was getting through on the driver's side. It was getting right through here, and it was running down to the back, because I was actually lying under the car with it running, watching to see where this oil's coming from, because it just baffled me. So what we did this time, we meaning Dan Clem, as I got the Felpro 1803 and the Felpro 1818 gasket. Now, why did I get two sets of gaskets? What I needed is the solid side for the passenger side of the of 1803, because this is the driver's side dipstick relief. And then I bought the 1818 because this is for the newer style of Chevy block, like the Omega here, where the dipstick is on the right side. So what I had to do is I took the solid piece from the one side of this, the solid piece from the one side of this, and we made a complete gasket with no provisions for the dipstick tube, glued it down, sealed it, and that's what's installed on it now. Because this pan, because of those stroker pan reliefs, you can't use every pan bolt. It's missing a few pan bolts, which is the design of the pan. So hopefully this and when we put that one-piece blue gasket on, we didn't use silicone, we didn't put anything on, we put it on dry just like they recommended, and I think that was also a mistake. So this one we gooped up, of course, with Promatex, RTV, the right stuff, and sealed it up, and it sat upside down for a week, and then I just turned it around, and I was working on the transmission, so I had to move it aside there, but I'll have to get on that and post our solution. I thought I did that already, but I guess I didn't. Jason, thank you for joining us. Good to see you, and hopefully spring arrives soon for you out there in Eastern Canada, and we'll see some pictures of your car on some of the other groups out there for sure. So thanks for joining us. But yeah, no, I'm sorry, guys. I totally thought I posted on the group the findings. Maybe I didn't. Oh man, I hope it works for me too, because if it doesn't, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna sit, because it was so frustrating and so deflating to spend the money and build the motor and to have something like that happen, because you can't just pull the oil pan off to change the gasket. And I mean, we could have, done it, but I wanted to do it properly. We pulled it out. We took the pan off slowly to see where the failure was, where the oil was coming from. And I'm really glad we did. It was definitely worth the trouble. But I mean, that's a lot of trouble to fix an oil pan gasket, man. That really sucks. So hopefully this fixes it. And we used these gaskets here are the neoprene rubber ones, and quite honestly, I like these ones better. This is what we used in the old 406. I don't know why we went one piece. I know we have the one piece in the Omega here, because this is a block out of a 97, so it's a ZZ3 block, and that gasket worked really good in here. But I think because of the metal inside the blue on those gaskets, we couldn't squeeze it enough to seal in the one area here, because you've got a bolt in the middle here and a bolt here. You're missing these two bolts on the stroker pen. So I'll have to get that post up and show you guys. Okay, just looking quickly here at the posts. No, I didn't post. I posted how we found the oil leak, March 21st. There, Patrick. There's pictures of the blue gasket we used, and it wasn't a real failure. That was more kind of a combination of an oversight on a couple levels, but it was enough to cause us issues. So yeah, check out my post, the Project Mean Green update of March 21st. And then, yeah, I'll have to post the pictures of the new gasket and when we put it on and put it together. Yeah, that was the last post I made. And then, of course, the spark plug wire holders, asking everybody for what they use. But I think I'm just going to use the Moroso ones that I have now with just the plastic and that. And I'll just stick with that. And, of course, when we're done today, and I completely forgot about this, is I got some more bolts in the Evaporust to, I guess, take out, dry, and sort. They've been sitting in here for almost a week, so they better look like brand new. So that's pretty much all I've got here. So we're just coming up on an hour here, so if there's any last minute kind of round table kind of things, anybody got any questions, comments, complaints? Yeah, we'll even take complaints. Because I know, Chevy Nova 73, 74, we're pretty tough, we're pretty stingent on rules, guys, but we do get a lot of positive messages from some people liking how it's concentrated on resources and not just, things get lost in general chit-chat and that. And I got to admit, I like that too. And the one thing I really like about our group with, just about, I think it's 3,100 members, is when your groups get too big, and I'm noticing this even on the other 73, 74 Novas group, you get too big, you seem to get a lot of people who are like, everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got their own way of doing things. And then opinions clash. And I like to think Chevy Nova 73, 74, we have a great membership of people. We don't have near the drama or problems you do on some of the bigger groups. And I really find on the really big groups is you can get lost asking for help, because so many people, like some guy can post saying, I got a minor knock, what should I listen for? Is it a lifter? Is it this or that? The next reply is, oh my God, compression test, pull the motor apart, send it to machinist, blah. Meanwhile, it could be something that's just, adjusting your rockers. Like, some people just go really overboard on some of their answers, going right to the ragged edge. And other people, check this, check this, check this. Or some people say, oh, you're wasting your time, wasting your money. Why are you doing that? That's stupid. Oh, thank God we don't have to deal with that here. And I'm really thankful for the good group of people that we do have. And in saying that, if you are watching this video on YouTube and you're not a member of Chevy Nova 73, 74, this is a Facebook group, only accessible through Facebook. And if you're watching it on Facebook, inside the group, you'll see the chat going on the screen here that I'm replying to and commenting on. If you're watching this on YouTube, you have no idea what's going or supposed to be going on here, because it doesn't register the chat on YouTube. But I always appreciate you guys joining, of course. Lou says they get government stimulus for their projects. We don't. We have to give stimulus for the government's projects. Oh, don't get me started on government, man. Oh, this is not the show for conspiracy theories. And Patrick says he's on a few of the other groups, and he likes this one the best. Thanks, Pat. You've been a member of this group for such a long time, and I've always appreciated your contributions and you sharing your beautiful Nova with us. And of course, really appreciate the alliance between Team Green and Team Black. Really appreciate that, especially against the evils of blue. It's tough, and it's funny how this color war has gone from Chevy Nova 73, 74, and now it's getting posted in a few of the other groups where, we have our little common family, where we're all part of the same community. And this war is kind of split onto the other group now, too. So, hey, Josh Sanders from Tennessee, he's joining us. Hey, Josh, was kind of wrapping things up, but hey, if more people are coming in, Christina's joining us. She's from British Columbia. Yeah, hey, if more people are coming on, and if Patrick wants to keep commenting, yeah, I'll keep going. I can talk Novas all night. I'm like you, Christina. I've left a lot of the other groups. I just, it's just too much drama, too much hate, especially if you're in the 68 to 74 era groups, because everybody's got such a hatred for the big bumpers. Like, I mean, I've never been one for, the front ends, as we call them, the front end swappers, or the bumper tuckers, as they've been nicknamed. I've always liked my Nova, but I always knew my Nova growing up as looking like that. I didn't know, when I was 6, 7 years old, I didn't know what the earlier generation looked like. To me, that was always what the Nova looked like. That's what I grew up with. I mean, I appreciate them for what they are, and that's great. But a 73 and a 74 have their own unique look, and I feel that when people change that, this is my own personal opinion, so please don't crucify anybody on the group. This is my own opinion. I think you take away from the uniqueness of your car. But that being said, some people like that look, and they like some of the added features of 73, 74, like the hatchback, or the bigger back glass. Some people appreciate those options a little more and want a mix of the two. Hey, it's your car. What makes my modifications of, the headlights, the clear signal lights, what makes my modifications okay and yours not? There's no rule on modifications. Do what you want. Yeah, okay. Hey, Dave Williams has joined us too. Hey, Dave, yeah, we're just getting warmed up here. Just been warming up for an hour, waiting for everybody to show up. And now that everybody's here, we can talk Novas again. What the heck is that squeaking? Yeah, maybe it's from the storm. Dave just got home from work. Okay, Lou. Yeah, no, I wasn't ignoring you there. We're all big bumper livers. All big bumper lovers. You know what? It took me a lot, and it took me, what's this, 2020, 22? It took me 15 years to finally decide to gut the bumper on the Omega. Let's see if I have it here. Oh yeah, here it is back here. I've always been one for leaving things how they are, and because there's a reason for all of it. But when I had the front end apart, I finally decided it's time to lose some weight, and I took this. I cut that part of the rebar out of the front bumper on the Omega. I'm not sure how much this weighs. I want to weigh it. That's why I kind of still have it. At the same time, though, I also have the full unmodified one with the shocks on the other bumper. So if I don't like it or something happens, I can always put it back together the way it was. But it took me a while to do just that, because I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I thought about, drilling the shocks and pushing the bumper in. Couldn't do it. So yeah, I'm a big bumper lover, and like I've posted a few times, just trying to get some humor going in the group about where do you guys put your tools, and I think I offended or upset a few people. I was just trying to have fun, folks. I mean, I literally do put my tools all around here, bolts and stuff. Just trying to have fun with you all. And Dan says, yeah, Team Black rules. Yep, Team Black rules because they got green behind them. And yeah, Josh here, I'm just highlighting your name. I forget what color Nova you have, but yeah, hey, what are you doing to your Nova? Christina, the last I think we saw your Nova, you were doing some body work to it, and then you had to park it for a bit of that. How's that coming along? And I notice right now, well, it might be the other 73-74 Novas group. There's a guy on there selling interior for a 73-74 four-door Nova. So if you're looking for interior parts, might want to check over on the other group there. And Patrick pushing us. Yeah, I'm okay with that. If Team Green has to push black, we can. And Team Red representing, that's Lou. And Lou, I believe Kim, I don't know if she's still watching or not, but yeah, Team Red has definitely got a presence here. And does this count as me being part of Team Red? Does Team Red open to the corporate cousins? Asking for a friend. And yeah, Patrick is mentioning that guy has a lot of parts. In fact, yeah, his name, what is it? Leon Lee, I think it is. Let me check. I have him in chat because I'm buying some parts off of him myself. Leon Lee. If you're interested in that, Christina, send me a personal message, and I can hook you up with Leon, or we can get you going on that other group if you need some parts, interior parts for your 73, 74. I'm buying the chrome under the headlights here from him. I'm buying those two pieces because from my accident last year, my driver's side one is damaged and partially ripped. It ripped at the bolt. So, and I haven't even tried fixing the bodywork or the damage on the Nova yet. I'm probably just going to drive it with that little ding in the fender. I mean, you can't tell at nighttime, and I'm usually ahead of the people that would bug me about it anyway. But yeah, I'd like to, I don't know. I'm running out of time this winter, but the problem is I've run out of motivation. You know, it's tough. You know, I had so much fun doing this, and this is a blast, and I still like working on it. But when it comes to the Nova, I'm emotionally wiped. I don't know why it is. That car's really upset me. But really, I need to pull off at least the inner fender on the passenger side and the seat, because I want to do the heater core conversion. That's on the list. I got to install that dual channel front speaker. That's on the list. Got to put the motor back in. That's a must. I just don't, just not motivated to do it. And right on, Lou says right now the Omega does qualify for Team Red. Right on. The Omega is gender neutral. That's funny. And Christina says, yeah, her Nova's home now. She's still working on the body. 5 years now. 5 years, that's nothing. We're on year 27 and year 16. They're never done, Christina. They're never done. And I'm not doing body work like you. Like I did on the Omega when I first got it. I learned to weld, and I did quarters and wheel wells on this car. Not very well. Like when I look at it now, it's kind of upsetting. I would honestly like to do it again now that I know what I did wrong. But yeah, it's good enough. And Lou says, just drive the Nova, Dave. That's what I want to do, Lou, but I mean, emotionally, that car just kicks the crap out of me, man. Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to having fun with the Omega. I don't know why that is. Yeah, Patrick says, nope, you never finish them. No, you don't. Ever, says Daniel. And yeah, Patrick says his will stay projects, and mine will too. And yeah, Christina, maybe post an update on what you've done to your car and give us a little progress report, because I'm always interested in following what you're doing, as I am with everybody, including, Dave Williams with his Nova, his LS Swap Nova. I like following that because that kind of directs me on the LS stuff. So whenever somebody asks a question, it's like, oh, go see my buddy Dave Williams. Christina says people make fun of her welds. Whatever. I'm not a welder. I'm a carpenter. Let the haters hate. That's what I say. I mean, my welds are probably no better. Like when I put that quarter on the passenger side, halfway through doing the spot welds, I ran out of gas. So all of those welds were just brutal. And yeah, we spent probably about 6-7 hours just grinding the welds down from my welding. I mean, it's nothing to brag about either. And I'm like you, I'm just a backyard mechanic. This isn't my trade. I'm no Red Seal welder. But nothing an angle grinder can't fix. But yeah, post them. And you know what? If somebody hates it, I'll jump on them. And yeah, Dan, you're absolutely right. Working on them is half the fun. But the problem is the other half is stressful. Like I said, you know, I had a lot of fun doing this car. I guess because I really don't care. If something doesn't go back together right, like when I did the front clip and that, if something doesn't go back together right, we'll figure it out. But if something doesn't go back together in the Nova, I stress out and I panic because the Nova has to be perfect. There's no just putting it together. It has to, you know? And yeah, Dave, we really do appreciate you sharing your LS swap info and the crazy number of part numbers you have. That's great too. Really appreciate that. And Lou is building a garage. Hey, right on, Lou. What size of garage are you building? Patrick says he watched the guy on YouTube with Frank and Nova. It's pretty entertaining sometimes. Patrick, are you referring to John Gilman and Shop 209? Because I think he calls his Frank and Nova. And I've watched a few of his videos too, and he's got some good videos. And I've used his videos for reference when I did my disc brakes. I used his video for references a few times just to see if I was doing it the same or if we were making the same mistakes. Or yeah, that would be a one to look at. Shop 209 there, Christina, if you get a chance on YouTube. And 24 by 30, right on, Lou. My garage here is 26 by 26. But I guess it's more by 22 because I got 2-foot shelves on both sides. And then a 2-foot workbench at the front here. But when we built my garage, I put an extra a 9-foot door on this side so I can drive through the garage into my yard. Which is sadly where the Omega will sit this upcoming winter if I don't sell the Nova or the Mustang. Because I still have the Mustang and I got to bring that home. And that'll probably get a spot in the garage. Of course, the Nova is in the garage. There's just no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And Lou, may I also suggest plugs at every 4 feet? Oh, that is beautiful, although sometimes not enough. Every 4 feet. And in the ceiling. I've only got a couple. I put 3 in the ceiling. And actually the one in the middle here, Lou, is for the garage door opener. I spent a little extra on wiring, and I wired a switch way over at the other end, so when I lock it, I can turn the plug on. So you can turn the power off to your garage door opener, and you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your opener or using a code jammer to open your door, because you just turn the power off at the end of the day. But I love the power in the roof. And then you can't see it there, but I actually got a power bar, but that's more for my disco lights. Because it's so easy to plug stuff in the ceiling than it is to have cords dangling on the floor. When they're on the ceiling kind of hanging down, they're not in the way. So little tips for you there that if I was to build my garage again, I'd put a few more plugs in the ceiling myself. Patrick, you can always bring the Nova to me. Hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy? Matt, I'm going to slaughter that last name, so we're just going to stick with Matt. And Dave Williams is off to karate practice with the kids. Dave, thank you very much for joining us. And again, Dave, thank you for the work that you put in at Chevy Nova 7374. You were a great addition to the moderator administration team. I can't thank you enough for the time you put in here. So thank you very much, Dave, and have yourself a good night. Hiya! Yeah, Matt, it's been a while. How you doing? ID. Okay, Matt ID. Thank you, because I am so bad at slaughtering names. I don't even know how I still have a job at the local racetrack. I really don't. Yeah, Patrick, if you want the Mustang, I'm actually looking to sell it. I don't know what it would take, though, to bring a Canadian car down south, but I am looking to get rid of it because, honestly, I love my GMs. I love my old cars. And, yeah, I don't have room for everything. And for a few of you folks that are on my Facebook outside of Chevy Nova 7374 and may see some of my other YouTube shows, it was talked about with my girlfriend and her car, and she's also got a couple cars. She's got two 73 Chevelles. One's an SS, one's a Malibu. So if we were ever to move in together, well, we're going to have a problem because that's four cars, not to mention our daily drivers, which she has a Mazda and I have an F-150. Where are we going to put all these cars? So that could cause a dilemma too. You get the oil leak fix? Hey, yeah, right here, Matt. I didn't post pictures of it yet, but yeah, we got a new style gasket on it. We're using the Felpro, the neoprene rubber, and I had to use a mix of two gaskets, the 1803 and the 1818. And the reason for that is the stroker dipstick, or the stroker oil pan I'm using does not have a provision for dipstick on either side. So I wanted the whole gasket without the dipstick provision, because as you see the dipstick provision there's no gasket, so the oil will leak through there. And that's where part of the oil leak was coming. I was mentioning earlier, if you look at my post I made on March 21st, I took pictures on where the oil was getting by and how it was getting by and how it was upsetting me. And I guess I haven't posted our fix yet. We got it back together, was it last weekend or the weekend before? I'll have to check my pictures because I took pictures. I haven't posted anything yet. And a new barn, garage house. You know what? Honestly, Josh, I've thought about it, and Shelly and I have jokingly talked about it, about selling both of our houses and finding like a big kind of a warehouse or something, and yeah, have a garage on the main floor and living quarters like on a second floor or something like that. For me, that'd be fine, but Shelly also has two daughters, so right now that wouldn't work out so well for her. But I think in my next lifetime, that's what I probably would do. And years ago, I had that chance to buy an old shop just outside the city. And today, I kind of kick myself for it, but at the same time, I've got a really great garage here that we had built, and then my dad and I, we insulated, finished it, and then I decorated. So, everything happens for a reason. And quite frankly, I'm very lucky and very blessed to have what I have here. So I can't really complain, but yeah, we do. Get 2 posts and put 2 on top and 2 underneath. The problem is I only have an 8.5-foot ceiling. And this was something that was discussed when we were building it too. My dad was talking about maybe you should build it with a high ceiling, 10 or 12 feet. And I'm like, what for? That's extra room to heat. I don't need a hoist. Yeah. Hoist would be nice right about now. Dan's got room in his yard for another Nova and an Omega. Dan, up there in Alaska, do you have actually any Omegas or Venturas, any of the corporate cousins up there that you would be able to acquire? Because I know you have nothing but Novas up there, but are there corporate cousins up there too, or are they just not rarely available up there? But yeah, definitely garage house, Josh. All said and done. I could live in here. I've actually thought about seriously renting out the house and living here, but yeah, gets cold. Well, it's heated in here in the wintertime. I usually have it at about 50, 60 degrees in here, depending if I'm working. This year I had it 60 degrees, and it was almost a $100 a month to heat this garage. My bills really went up this year, keeping the garage a lot warmer at about in between 15 to 18 degrees Celsius. Alexa, what is 18 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
18 degrees Celsius is 64.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so yeah, in between 50 to 65 degrees in here, and it was pretty costly. And Dan says, yes, they do have corporate cousins up there. Dan, you have to get some pictures and post it in the GMX body group, because I'd like to see some of them up there. Lou's trying to get his hands on a 73 or 74 Ventura, the old Pontiac edition. So that's pretty cool. And oh yeah, Dan, I mean it's the same thing here. Everybody wants an arm and a leg. Some for just junk. There's one on Facebook Marketplace right now, a 73 Omega hatchback. A guy wants $2,000 for, and all it is a shell. I mean, there's barely an interior in it. There's no motor in that. Doesn't even have a clean title, and the guy wants $2,000. I mean, I looked at that car. I'm thinking, dude, I may give you $200 for it. One, I'm cheap, and two, it's a hatchback. You could sell that hatch, but in the hatch didn't have glass, unfortunately. 50 to 60, I would freeze to death, says Patrick. You know, Patrick, I am wearing... Oh, okay, I only got one shirt on. Usually when I'm in here, I have two shirts on when I'm working. But it actually warms up here pretty good, just from body heat or working. And sometimes I also have my hoodie on too. So really, between 50 to 60, I'm comfortable in here. And plus, we're used to the cold. Minus 36 this year, says Christina. Her bedroom floor had ice. Us BC people don't like that. Wow, that is cold out there for you guys, because I don't think you guys do get those cold temperatures like that. Wow. Yeah, my house, I think I keep the house at between 58 and 64 at nighttime. I have one of those energy saving thermostats, so it goes down to 58. And it heats up to 64. And if I'm staying home for an elapsed amount of time or that, I'll actually turn it up to 68, warm it up a little more so I'm comfortable. And I did that this year when I was working from home, or when I was home, sick with COVID there back in January. So yeah, we spent a little extra on heat. And this was a cold winter for us here in Winnipeg. And my bills between January, February, and March were double what they were last year. And right now it's craft dinner week to week, but that's of my own choosing too. If I didn't buy, parts for the Nova, I'd get by. But I also work two jobs to support that too. Patrick would move. The only thing, Pat, is the healthcare. I mean, it's great. So you got to kind of take the good with the bad, right? But oh yeah. And then Dan says, yeah, crazy prices up in his area too, like $5,000. Yeah, and he's always minus 40 up there. We get that here in January, February, Dan, so I can relate. But yeah, you definitely have it colder than I do, and you're a lot tougher than I am. And looking at your picture there and your icon, Dan, as you have, I believe that's what, a 70 Nova you use as a winter car. When I originally bought the Omega in 2005, I thought about fixing it up and using it as my winter car. And the problem was with all the work I put into this car, I thought to myself, I would die driving it in the wintertime, because A, then it would just, get attacked by the elements, and B, it would end up rusting out again, and then I'd be out of car again. So we put so much work. I had some friends help me, including Shelly, to get this car on the road, that we couldn't sacrifice it as a winter car. And then in, 2008, 2009, my dad started wanting to use it to race in Gimli. And so it slowly became my dad's race car. And that's funny. I love being at the track, and my dad's making a pass, and I'll start criticizing it. And every now and then you get some guy on the side that goes, oh yeah, where's your car? I'm like, well, that is my car. I love doing that, because it shuts them up. But Dad enjoys racing, and I enjoy my dad racing. And considering I stole his Nova, it's a fair price to pay. And actually, Dad has been helping me with the. He was here to help me pull the engine. Okay, Matt's asking about the Omega. Are you going to paint the Slowmega orange or green? This is actually red. It came off a red Olds Omega S. It's just the front fenders. The rest of the car is still black. Here, where's the camera again? Let me just change the angle again. See, the rest of the car's still black. So once it warms up again, I'll get the spray paint out, and we're gonna paint it black again. 2-in-1 primer, yeah. Of course, these things have gone up in price too now. These things are now $10.99. They used to be $6.99. But you know what? I want to find the Rust-Oleum or the Trim Clad, those turbo cans that we've seen a few posts about them. I'd like to really try a turbo can on the Omega. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, it's gonna go black again. However, I am thinking of getting some spray bombs made. Granted, it's gonna be $20 a can, but I'll need about 6-7 cans. I was thinking of painting it dark green like the Nova, because I love green. So yeah, we're all over the place. Unfortunately, yeah, the green nose I have on here right now is just kind of temporary. It's my spare nose. The original black one I had on here was broken and patched up from a previous accident, because this car was in an accident before I owned it. So when I took the nose piece off, it broke. And I have some friends in auto body that are going to re-epoxy it for me. I just got to take it out to them, and so that'll be in the summertime. Oh, Matt, you're absolutely right. I try to enjoy as much time as I can with my dad and make those memories, because, yeah, you know, parents and grandparents are blessings. And, you know, I look back, and I'm going to get a little emotional here. I think of all the times my grandpa used to call to see how I was doing, and he also used to say, why don't you come by, visit, or come hang out sometime, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, in my 20s, I was so full into my own life, and all he was asking for was a little of my time. And then one day he's not there, and man, that is a regret I live with all the time, man, because I love my grandpa. My grandpa was great. My grandpa was great. And I know he's with me when I'm cruising in the car, but it's like you say, you know, spend that time with them now, because you never know. And I mean, my grandpa passed away in 2013, so that was actually 9 years ago, because he passed away at the end of April. So so for me to avoid crying here, we have to change the subject, because that's a very sensitive topic. I love my grandpa. I love my grandparents. The plastic welding. Funny you mentioned that. This post came up on one of the other Nova groups there. I don't know if it was the GM one or the other Nova group. Somebody bought one. Tim Bourne, or Jason Bourne, as he goes under, bought one. I forget, Eastwood or that. He bought it off of a company. It was like $150, and he was showing how to weld. And then he also mentioned that they have cheap ones on Amazon. So I went on to Amazon, and I found this kit. I think I paid $30 for it. I mean, I broke that just trying to cut one of the picks off. So the side cutters weren't anything, and they said they'd send me some new ones, which you can see I don't have. But it's a little gun like that with the two tips that heat up, and then yeah, I paid $30, but I also bought a few more of the little extra ends here. And you got to be careful. I mean, I tried welding an interior panel in the Omega. That plastic's so thin, and this got so hot it actually went right through the plastic. So practice on something before you actually do something of value. But I was actually able to fix my garbage can, which is an old vacuum. But the bottom thing broke, but I was able to use the plastic weld. I don't know if you can see it there probably not. But I used it there and along the bottom. See the squiggly? I don't know if you can see it. I used it to fix that so that my garbage can wheel. So yeah, you get these little ends, and you get different types of ends depending on what you want to do. You can do, corners, where we go, corners or wigglies for cracks. There's different kinds of ends, and I'm trying to get one out here to show you. Really, I should have made a video on this. So what you do is you take the end. So here we got a finer squiggly. They have some ones that are more, for a bigger crack. You just put it into the end of the gun, plug it in, and you pull the trigger. This will actually heat up red. And then when it gets red, you just kind of hold it on the plastic. And this is where I made the mistake when I was trying to fix my interior panel. I pressed, and it went right through. So you got to kind of, and sometimes you may need to feather the trigger. Again, this is a cheap $30 one. If you bought the one like Tim Bourne bought that has temperature control, I probably wouldn't have destroyed my interior panel going right through it. So I bought a cheap one to see how it worked, and I was actually rather impressed, even for $30. And that was Canadian, by the way, so it'd be a little cheaper for the Americans. It was a cool little toy to buy to play, and I've used it a couple times to fix a few little things. But if you're going to be doing a lot of kind of plastic welding, or if it's in the line of work you do, spend the money and invest in a temperature controlled one. That way you can control the heat and how hot these little ends get. And I also bought the little extra ends to go with it. So I think I have 800 ends that I can use. And again, I used, this is only like a $30 one from Amazon with some ends there. And it's pretty cool. I mean, by no means is this, I would say a professional one, but it's good enough for something you want to use in the garage or. Yeah. I'm not sorry I bought it. I'm glad I did. Okay. Well, I'm glad I had something useful to say there. Okay, and let's see, is there anything else, or has everybody kind of disappeared here? Oh, okay, yeah, the plastic welding post, yeah, that was a while ago, okay. And I did try that plastic welder on the fiberglass plastic resin of this front nose piece, and even glowing red, I couldn't burn into this to fix my broken nose. So yeah, we'll have this one on for now until I can get my black one fixed. But yeah, definitely check into that the temperature control. And Matt, do you also know Tim Bourne, or Jason Bourne as he goes by on Facebook? If you do know him, maybe send him a personal message. He might be able to tell you or direct you to a quality one like he bought. Do you think they would work on the bumper filler? Oh, hey Brian, how you doing? Bumper filler. That's a good question. You know what? It's funny you mention that because I just ended up finding a filler piece like that in my shed for the Omega that's cracked, and I thought about that. And you know what? I want to give it a try. I'll have to get back to you on that, Matt. Maybe, I also got to wait till it warms up a little bit before I can try bending the plastic. I don't see why it wouldn't. But you're of course talking on the Nova one. I'm assuming you're talking the 73 one, because I believe the 74 are metal. I can't see why it wouldn't work, like Patrick says. But yeah, definitely message Tim. Ask him the one he's got. Brian, how you doing, buddy? Better late than never. And bumper filler is rubber. The front or back lube, because some of them on 74 are metal. On the front, we'll have a metal bumper filler. Nova S73. So yeah, you know what? I'm curious now, and I'm gonna have to try it, Matt, because now I want to know. But yeah, if you got $30 burning a hole in your pocket, there, just order one from Amazon for try. But if you're looking at having something decent, spend the money. It's like any tool, right? You get what you pay for. Whether you buy something, a name brand, or if you're just going to buy a knockoff, you get what you pay for. And in this case, I just bought something just for trying and testing. Would I buy a better one? Thought about it down the road. Oh, Lou, yeah, the back one is rubber. You're right, yeah. I actually have the front one. I got one off of 74. Actually, the one where I got the radiator cradle for this car. I had to change my rad cradle, and it turns out I had a spare one in my shed, thankfully. But I have a metal bumper filler. I was actually thinking of putting on my 73 to replace my rubber, because the rubber is all kind of, all... Well, it's not, nice and smooth. It's got its, I guess, kind of texture, and it's a little rounded, and... Yeah, maybe I should look into changing that. Whatever. So Brian, what's new? What's happening? How's your Nova going? We're just we were wrapping things up, and then a few more people showed up, so that's awesome. Keep going a little bit longer. Right on. I'm afraid to look outside. I could kind of hear the wind going on, and I know, the storm is coming. So I'm really curious to what it's going to be like outside. Do I dare even look? So yeah, if things are winding down, just let me know, guys, and we can 40 to 60 centimeters now they've updated for Winnipeg now, 40 to 60. Well, it's a good thing I stocked up on frozen pizza, isn't it? So 5 pizzas over 4 days, maybe 5 days. Because it'll snow Tuesday to Friday. So Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 4 days. Saturday. So we probably get out some of that milk. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to have enough pizza. That's 5 pizzas over 5 days at a rate of 2 pizzas a day. Yeah, I'm going to be in trouble. I am going to be in trouble. All right, gang. Well, if there's nothing more, let's do a last round table. See unless you guys got any more questions or comments. Hey, have any of you guys tried that Evaporust yet? Speaking of which, where's that container? I put that container somewhere so I could use it to show off and say, try this. And you think I can find it now? Oh, okay. Brian's got something here. Think I need to pull the distributor and put it back in. Think I'm on the wrong stroke. Oh, have you ever tried to start a car with your distributor 180 out? My first 406 in 2003, I hope you got time for a story. My first 406 in 2003, I had the engine turned 180 out when I put the distributor in, and we tried to fire it. And that was the loudest bang I've ever heard. And I was actually really impressed that I didn't blow up a muffler. Well, we took the distributor out. We turned the motor around, back to top that's there, put the distributor in, and started doing our cam break-in. And as we're doing the cam break-in, there was 2 RCMP officers walking up the driveway, asking what's going on. Well, sir, we were just doing a cam break-in. Is it causing a noise? He goes, no, we heard reports of guys playing with guns. So we started laughing, and my buddy was videoing it on his camcorder. And we told them if they wanted to wait, 10 minutes to when we're done the cam break-in, we'll kindly play back the video footage for them to show them what happened. So the guys, they actually stuck around a little longer than that. We played the video footage for them, and they got a real kick out of it, laughing. But, and that was in 2003. They have to take everything seriously. Like today, you hear a bang like that. I mean, they probably would have had the SWAT team, the helicopter, and all that thing. But yeah, it causes a real loud bang. So the best way to do it, Brian, if what you do, take spark plug number 1, either loosen it or take it out, and have somebody put their finger just lightly up against the hole and turn the motor over. As you're getting to top dead center on cylinder 1, that person will feel a pressure, will either blow their finger out, or like if you hold it in good, you'll get it like a whistling as you're approaching the compression stroke on number 1 for top dead center. And then that's where you'll line your distributor up. And if it's a standard HEI cap, I believe you do it from the number 1 spark plug. You measure 1.5 inches along the bottom, so your rotor will actually be pointing at number 5, because as you install it in, well, you probably know this, as you install it in, it turns, and you want it to face number 1. So, but that's how you find top dead center number 1 stroke on 0 degrees. Take spark plug number 1 out, have some, or just even unscrew it a bit so you can hear the air press out. Ooh, backfired through the sniper. Yee. Yeah, well, yeah. I've never had a backfire through the sniper yet. Yeah, 180 out is brutal. Yeah, that's you only do that once. And then Matt ID said he actually blew out a muffler once, and yeah, I'm not surprised that is loud. Lou likes scaring the neighborhood girls. They thought it was gunfire. Yeah, I mean, everything sounds like gunfire nowadays in this hippie neighborhood. And Brian, yeah, how is that sniper install going? What are you running for distributor with that sniper? And Matt, yeah, any new motors, I'm going roller. I'm done with cam break-ins. When I built that 421, I splurged the extra, what was it, $900. I think my cam kit was about $1,200 versus, $400 or $500. And I got the roller, so we didn't have to do a cam break-in. And yeah, I was pretty impressed. It's pretty cool. I mean, it is quite an expense, but if you can do it, I mean, great. If and when we refresh this motor in the Omega, I will put a roller in it as well. Right now, it's just flat tap it. Have to add zinc to the oil, which we didn't do for a few years. So this cam's probably worn a little bit, but I mean, it's still running 13.3s and good enough. So, but when it's time to rebuild that or freshen it up, I will be getting a roller cam, roller lifter set up for it too. It's definitely pretty cool. Oh, I put a balloon on a compression hose. I think I'm a couple teeth off. Oh, that's you know what? I never thought of that. Brian, that's genius, man. You got to take a picture of that when you do that, because I bet you there's going to be a few people on the group that are going to look at that and go, that's genius. I never thought of that. I can honestly say I've never thought of that. I'm glad you came on, man. I learned something today. And you're using the Hyperspark ignition and distributor. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm using just the dual sync distributor on mine, but even a couple teeth out, I'm wondering if you don't have it faced properly, where I don't know how the Hyperspark installs compared to the dual sync. The dual sync distributor, I know you put in like a regular distributor and then you turn the ignition on, and there's a cam sensor light and a crank sensor light. And you got to turn it to a certain point on the distributor where the one light goes off and the one light goes on. And you got to have it right at the point where that second light goes on. And then that's when it will be synced. And then from there you start the car and then get the timing gun on it. And then that's when you adjust it and then allow with a static timing setting on the sniper. And then once that's set to the timing gun, you then release the static timing and let it go back to automatic. That's how the dual sync distributor goes. So check out some of those Holley videos. I mean, it may be worth 5-10 minutes of your time just to watch the Holley Spark, the Hyperspark install video. Every time I go to reinstall or work on the Nova and I got to put the distributor in, I take that 5 minutes and I watch the Holley video all over again just to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Lou, I got 373s in the Omega, 342s in the Nova, running the Nova at the track, I have the 342s. I'm running either a 275/50 series or a 255/60 series drag radial. My new ones are 255/60, and they actually hook pretty well. I was really surprised how well the ET Streets really hooked for the kind of power I was putting down on my old 406. And those ET Streets seem to also hook pretty well when I was playing with the 421. So yeah, that's 255/60 with the 342. The Omega, we're running 235/60 tires. We could probably fit a 245/60, but we have 235s. And this car doesn't spin, but Dad doesn't just launches it at like 1500. He doesn't really launch it hard, so spinning isn't really a problem with the Omega. Might be one bad sensor. The AFR is at 37.5. Yeah, that's possible too. And that sucks too with those AFR sensors or the O2 sensor. You just run the 1A O2 sensor, right, Brian? Because I think, yeah, you only have, unless it's the Super Sniper or something. I know when I had an O2 sensor go out, I could not get over how badly that crippled my Nova running. I barely made it home from the cruising parking lot. It was running so rich and backfiring. So I now have a couple O2 sensors. I have one that I keep in my race box because, yeah, now when the O2 sensor goes, it screws everything. But after I learned about that, I found that there was a way that you could turn off the learning and turn off the O2 sensor and run it off existing maps and existing data saved on the Sniper, so I would be able to get home. Yeah, mine I think is between 12 to 18 inches from the collector on the driver's side. I could take a picture if you're interested. But yeah, Okay, phasing the Hyperspark is easy. Comes with a cap that drops when you rotate 10 before TDC has a mark for number 1. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, again, with my dual sync, it's got a couple lights inside of it when you put power on, and you use the lights to position and phase it in. And just for the other folks who aren't running snipers or running timing control, this is how well the Sniper compensated. When I installed my distributor one time, I went to the wrong part of the video. I wasn't watching the video correctly. And I synced my distributor for a counterclockwise rotation instead of the clockwise rotation. So my car was probably running off minus 20 degrees of timing than what it should have. That's how much the Sniper was correcting the car to get it to run. And I found that out when I was trying to run the car at the track, and it was running 13s. I went back through my notes because, I was pretty embarrassed of why my car's not moving. And it turned out I had the distributor in wrong, and it was out about 20 degrees of timing. And that's how well the Sniper compensated. Because if you had a regular distributor in there without timing control, that car never would have started. So that Sniper has really impressed me. Again, if I had the extra 2,500, we'd have one in the Omega too. With that being said, though, nothing against carburetors. Don't think I'm trying to push, EFI. Carburetors are great too if you have them, tuned and jetted and set accordingly. The Omega runs great. I don't even want to touch it. And at the same time, I'm not trying to push Holly Sniper. I should have said my disclaimer at the beginning. That's just the system I'm using and that I'm comfortable with. There's lots of other good EFI systems out there too, so make sure you check them all out. Don't let me push anything on you. Oh, okay. Problem is the rotor is halfway between 1 and 8 at TDC. Yeah, so it sounds like you're almost like a tooth out. That shouldn't really matter. When I used to install my distributors. Well, okay, now when you install that distributor, Brian, I know when I have to install the Sniper distributor in the Nova, I have to have it at minus 50 before top dead center. Maybe that's because that will affect your tooth position too if you're not quite at top dead center yet. Maybe check that out, see if it's something where you have to have the distributor or the crank at minus 50 before top dead center. I bet you that's what it might be, because I remember I forgot to do that one time. And that was part of my timing problem when I installed my distributor, is I put it at 15 before top dead center, not 50 before top dead center. Check that out. I bet you. I'm wondering if that might be the culprit. Oh yeah, I love fuel injection, but I also love carbureted too. Really, the only advantage I've seen in the Nova going from the fuel injection, from carburetor to fuel injection, was the increased mileage. Like, it almost doubled my fuel mileage. The ease of starts, where you guys have seen, I've posted videos on that on our Chevy Nova 73, 74 YouTube channel. The ease of starts with fuel injection over carburetor. I mean, yeah, they both have their plus and minuses. So it's what you're used to and it's what you like. All right, what else, folks? Whoa, look at that. We're almost at 2 hours there. I'm going to have to rename this show. Anyone else got something to add or to say before we call it a night? And Brian, if you want, we could keep going in Facebook chat after this if you want. Well, Patrick, thank you very much for joining us today. Post some pictures of that Nova, of course. Let us see what wheels you're deciding on, and maybe we can help you select. Really appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you very much. And yeah, Brian, please, the phasing sets it to 15 before. I'm going to actually download the manual, Brian, and I'm going to take a look, and maybe I'll send you a chat later. Maybe we can get this figured out. As I'm very curious if you've got it at the wrong setting like I did that one time. Matt Ivey, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. And I'll get those pictures posted up. I believe it was you asking me about the oil pan gas. I'll get those pictures posted up. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow when I'm working from home. And on the fix for the 421. Lou, my right-hand man, thank you very much for being here. We got to get those Chevrolet Zoom meetings going again. I know I keep telling you, we'll get it going. I haven't had time to help you, buddy. I'm really sorry, but we got to get that going. But thank you very much for being here today. He was the first one on today to keep me company while we waited for some of you guys. And I guess we'll cut it here. We'll cut it short here. As always, thank you very much for being a part of the Chevy Nova 73, 74 community. I love you guys. I love this group. It's the only reason I'm still on Facebook. And hopefully by listening to me ramble and seeing some of the mistakes I've made over the years, I can save you money where I've flushed money away. So, what's my saying again? Oh yeah, smoke tires, not drugs. Boy, that sounds dumb. And I guess we'll see you guys next time. So hopefully next time I see you guys, the cars will be together again. And post the pictures, keep the pictures coming. Love the pictures, love the stories. Love everything of this group. So now I'm rambling. It's time to hit end live video. Have yourselves a good evening. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for your time. Again, I'm David Meyer of Chevy Nova 73, 74. And it was awesome having you in my garage tonight. Have yourself a good night.